Hey everybody, it's Mazi Ezike aka Bagwells, and today I'm gonna be reminding Europe and the Western world through this news recap that we are all in this mess together. And to the Western world, terrorists are the monsters that you have made. I wanted to talk about the Liverpool women's explosion that occurred many hours ago. So don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button so you don't miss out on my videos. So over the past decades, the British government has turned a blind eye to the ongoing terror attacks, banditry, extrajudicial killings, and the terror acts going on in Nigeria, in Biafra land, and Africa at large. And sorry to say this, but with this attack, I hope they become adaptive, to the current state of terror, just like we have been. When I still decolonize us low-key. If you ask me, I will tell you, say, they still see us like monkey. But as it stands now, they no say they look them like banana. So now let's get serious. If you check well, you can all remember how the British turned a blind eye to the images of the emancipated children close to death, starved as a result of the blockade imposed by the Nigerian federal government to defeat the secession of the country's eastern region. I was there, in spirit. I was there, and the image did not fade. Britain, the former colonizers of Nigeria and its main suppliers of arms, could not escape the involvement. They no go lie, see they no follow. They no go lie, see they no follow the killers. Now see the bomb don't they come for their house. As the outcry over the farmer and grill,
so far, 3 men were arrested on Sunday.
I know they will understand that the things that they have done is coming after them.
The investigation is
so guys, I want you guys to sit back and relax and watch this video, and I wish that you guys are going to help me to hit on the like button and subscribe.
For more on the story, we are now joined by our correspondent Benji Haya from London. Benji, thanks for joining us. Now, the blast in Liverpool had been declared a terror incident earlier, and now the terror threat has been raised to severe. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, what's important to recognise here is the whole context behind that decision that came from the Prime Minister, who you heard, and also Home Secretary Priti Patel. The reason she says that that level has been raised too severe is not just because of the incident that took place at the Liverpool hospital, the details of which we know so far are pretty much what you summed up, that a passenger, the suspect in this case, took a taxi to the hospital where he ignited that explosive bomb, but the driver, who was being deemed as a hero in this case, managed to escape and locked that suspect inside the taxi to prevent any further casualties. That happened, as I say, on Sunday. It comes just a few weeks after another terror incident, unrelated, not linked, according to police, to what happened on Sunday, but nonetheless part of the decision-making. And that incident, if you recall, was the murder of MP Sir David Amos back in October. And it's those two incidents that have formed the basis for the decision to raise the terror threat in the UK, meaning, according to the government, a terror threat here is highly likely.
Right. Now, Benji, as you just pointed out, this follows another incident, though unrelated, and now the terror threat has been raised to severe. So what does this mean in terms of security in the area, and are authorities expecting more such attacks?
Well, it's difficult to say on the second point whether this means that there are definitely going to be more attacks. Obviously, security services are always trying to foil the next attack. But what this rise does show is that there needs to be a greater sense of urgency about the potential for an attack. And that, as I say, it is much more likely now than before. With all that said, the government is clear that the British people will not be cowed by terrorist acts. The people should continue life as normal, and of course that there'll be more police presence around. Investigations continue about this particular incident. Of course, the suspect, the passenger in this case, has died due to his explosive device, but they think that the police think that they do know the identity of this individual, who was not known to security services, but they claim was from Middle Eastern descent. And what they're trying to work out now is the motivation to that attack, to try to piece together different bits of information and work out why this took place, and then, in effect, how to prevent other attacks from taking place in the future.
Right, Benji, my final question for you. This adds to another list of troubles that the Johnson government is currently facing off late, multiple crises before the government. How is the Johnson government responding to this attack, and what will be the strategy going forward to ensure the safety of the British people?
Well, it's important to kind of split everything up here, because there are a number of crises going on inside Boris Johnson's government, allegations of government sleaze, criticism of the lack of progress made at the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, a range of other domestic affairs that have got the government quite busy. This incident obviously has taken a bit of government time and attention, but that's warranted. They had an emergency meeting just a few hours ago, and this will be dealt with kind of separately, I'd imagine, to all the goings-on of government and domestic affairs that had taken up a lot of their focus so far. On this particular incident, Boris Johnson gave that brief statement that we played before, talking about the resolve of the British public, and I think that the kind of spirit that people tend to have in the UK is to keep calm and carry on, and those certainly will be the sentiments held by a lot of people. Of course, at the same time, as I mentioned, investigations continue, the police presence will increase, and the Prime Minister and his team and emergency services and security services will keep a close eye to prevent anything like this from happening again. As for the headlines and other stories, they're likely to continue in the background. As I said, there's allegations of sleaze and fears about what they're going to do in terms of the climate, and those will take up a lot of the headlines going forward in the next few days. But the government's attention in the last few hours definitely on what's been happening in Liverpool, and then of course ensuring that this is an incident that does not repeat itself in the weeks and months to come.
Right, Benji Haya, thank you so much for joining us from London with all those updates.